What's up? I don't have a plan at all for this, and I just felt the need to say some stuff. I have zero plan for it. I just know there's some things I've been thinking about, and obviously I don't upload to this channel very frequently anymore. I think the last one was like however long ago, October, when I did the marathon. So I think I need to leave some final thoughts here about leaving the main channel, leaving this channel, and what's going to happen moving forward, because there's a lot of stuff, and I kind of want to explain a lot of stuff because a lot of it roots from something, I guess, that formed from this channel. In 2022, at the start of the year, I've talked about it in an Now Taken Down video. I went through a pretty bad breakup, and after a lot of reflecting, I realized that a lot of my self-help in the past 2 and a bit years, has often just stemmed from a place of insecurity. I know I'm getting straight into it here, but this is something I've actually been thinking about a lot. I was really, I don't know if angry is the right word, but I guess that breakup 2.5 years ago really made me more aware of how insecure I was about myself. And moving into self-help and self-improvement was the remedy for that. And it did a pretty good job because I was pretty fortunate, especially with YouTube, to be so successful so quickly, which was obviously a fair bit of luck involved in that, which I'm forever grateful for. But this channel emerged kind of in that deficit I felt about myself. I started getting into self-help, started learning about those ideas and getting more into it. But yeah, I just think this channel actually emerged from mainly insecurity. And I made a video, actually, I think the video before my last one was about insecurity. And the more I've reflected on it, the more I've kind of realized that a lot of my self-help was purely birthed from insecurity. And this is important because it kind of got me thinking just about why I do self-help and self-improvement in general. And to be honest, this year, I've honestly detached myself quite a bit from the idea of self-help in general. Not that I don't think it's not invaluable, it's not important, but I realized that I was coming from it from the perspective of deep insecurity. I don't know if I was necessarily doing it for me a lot of the time. I feel like I was doing it to put out the image to other people that I was competent, that I was moving in the right direction, that I was becoming successful. And I think a lot of the time, it wasn't actually for me. And a lot of this thinking I've had has also coincided with my main channel, which I've wrapped up just earlier today. And I kind of realized at the same time, I was like, is this really what I want to be doing? TF2 videos, I'm not sure if my heart's, it's in it, but I don't know how fully in it is, because I do love doing it. I could still keep doing it, and I'd still enjoy doing it, but I just thought, I think there's stuff out there that's more intrinsically fulfilling to me than a 17-year-old video game. Not in like a sassy way, but genuinely, like, I've become less of a gamer as I've gone older too, but yeah, I kind of had these thoughts about that. And this also lined up with, I actually ended up talking to my ex. And we ended up reconnecting again. And we're on good terms now. I released a video with stuff I shouldn't have talked about ever. And I regret doing so. But I resolved a lot of my issues. And I found that, like, this desire for self-help really did come out of, like, vanity. A lot of it was really just me trying to put out to the world that I was better than I was, because I felt so small and I felt so kind of worthless, or at least I realized how worthless and how incompetent I felt after that breakup. And since I resolved the issues and I'm on much better terms with my ex, and since thinking about more about like why I do these things, I kind of just had a lot of this year where I haven't really identified with self-help as much. I've been getting back into it again recently, in a much more, I think, through a much better framework of doing things for me. And I haven't really talked about this with anyone. This is my first time even like articulating it. I've journaled about it a little bit, but yeah, that's why I haven't been active on this channel, because I just kind of realized there was like not a root cause for all of this, but it all stemmed from the same place. I don't know how much of like, of course, being successful is always nice and I always want to be successful, but part of me was just doing it kind of for show. Like, it wasn't necessarily truly intrinsic to how I felt. It came from a not good place. I remember hearing one of the earliest ideas I heard in self-help. I think it was from a guy called Struthless, who's an Australian. I think I might have mentioned him on this channel before, but he had this idea. He talked about how like 90% of the time in self-help, you should do it for you. But 10% of the time, you should have that darker reason, that more, that like the vain reason? That sounds weird. That reason that's filled with vanity. That reason that's like that dark, kind of like what forces you in it. When nothing's working, just like that's something you can kind of grit your teeth out and be like, yeah, I'm doing it for this. And I think for a lot of my self-help, I kind of convinced myself otherwise, that I was doing it for myself. But now looking back after getting close to 3 years, I don't think I realized how much of it was never really for me. I always wanted to be a YouTuber, but a lot of the other stuff, and just the extent to which I grew it, and the extent to which I lost my initial vision of YouTube and like why I do it, I kind of lost that chasing the numbers at times, chasing the bigger video, chasing even this channel to some extent was like projecting. It's like, look, I do self-help. Haha, look how good I should feel. And it all stemmed from insecurity after a breakup. But since that's resolved, and I don't even think about it anymore, like a part of my thought process was like how shit this made me feel and how much I want to like rectify that and do better and feel better about myself. But since I've put that to peace, it's just not there anymore. That kind of like, that like hunger and thirst to prove myself to nobody really, it's just kind of evaporated. And for the last 6 months, I've just been like, what do I want to do? For what reasons? Like now I'm doing stuff for me, which is actually quite nice. But I've done it in like a detached way from self-help, and I've just kind of felt a bit weird about this channel. Not that even, it's weird though, because everything I've ever said on this channel, I probably stand by the most. I've probably evolved my views on some things, but everything I've said I kind of think is a good thing. It's just like the place it came from feels weird to look back at now. Like looking at so many of these channels, like on the videos on this channel, I'm like, I was being authentic to how I felt at the time. But it's just like, how much of this came from like a good, solid foundation, and how much of it was more just trying to prove myself. Like I've always kind of had a little bit of a chip on my shoulder, but I think post that 2022, I really had a big chip on my shoulder. And now I still have some form of a chip on my shoulder. I don't know if that's just general ambition and wanting to be successful, but it's nothing like it was 2 years ago. And I guess that's why I felt weird about this channel for a while, because it's just like looking on videos and being like, damn, my headspace at that time was a little bit cooked. And I started to realize with that video on insecurity, I think that was, I want to say September, close to a year ago. So I really started to think about it. And I just realized, you know, I think I'm in my post-self-help era, where I still think it's valuable to make yourself as competent as possible. You know, you should strive to be the best person you can, but I'm coming at from a bit of a more holistic view of self-help. And I just don't think I identify as much with the term. I think self-development's great, self-improvement's good. The one thing I just tell you is, I hope you're doing it for the right reasons, because I think for a while, I wasn't. And now I'm getting back to a place where I'm like, I want to do these things for me. I want to make videos for the sake of making videos and actual mastery of a craft, not chasing numbers, which I kind of was fraudulent about. Like I wanted to get good at making videos that would perform well. Now I just want to get good at making videos that mean something to me, that are artistically fulfilling. And yeah, I guess that's one of the biggest things I wanted to talk about, was just I just realized, I was like, so much of this channel was not necessarily the channel itself, but the things I was thinking at the time, and the reason I was so heavily invested in them was insecurity. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I don't want to act like insecurity is a full demon, because being insecure about something, it is good to sometimes to like, be insecure about how you look. You lose some weight, build some muscle, get a nice little haircut, change your style, and you feel more confident in yourself. That's fantastic. That's awesome. That's great. I'm very happy for you. But I just think I did those things fueled from like exogenous factors that shouldn't have been influencing me. And it's just made me kind of sour a little bit of how I look back at some of these things. But I am glad. I was even reading through a message today from someone from the channel who, this channel managed to spur them into the degree they're studying at university. They're doing film now. I think it was animation film. I can't remember exactly, but seeing the butterfly effect of what this channel has produced for people is really nice to see. And I'm really happy people are living happily, successfully, that they're just feeling much better about themselves. That's fantastic. I'm still happy there's been a net positive from this channel. And again, I don't think I even disagree with the stuff I've said in the past. A lot of it I still agree with. It's just it all came from a place that I don't identify with anymore. And it's I don't know, I feel a little bit liberated. I'm not sure if I'm framing this as a good thing because it has been a good thing. I don't feel the need to prove myself in the same way I did this time last year. I just feel like doing it for me, doing it to make myself happy and fulfilled. That's a really powerful thing. The idea of self-help, I guess, is just kind of reformed into something which I wouldn't even classify as I guess I would classify as self-help. I just don't really like that label sometimes, because self-help on YouTube can be a bit of a train wreck. I mean, some of the shit I've said is probably stupid, and I love other people say stupid things, but yeah, I just really reflected on insecurity. I think that's something you should perhaps take a look at too. And I guess that leads me to where this channel is now. And similarly to me ending stuff on the El Maxo channel, I also think I want to kind of leave this channel now as like a little piece in time, as a bit of a, what's the word? I guess an archive of just a period of time in my life, which I don't want to hide. I like it was part of forming who I am, but I guess now that my like view and how I feel about self-help in general has shifted so far from what it was, I just kind of want to leave it where it is. It doesn't feel right to kind of rebirth it. I am, of course, planning to move on. Jesus. You would have thought after 3 years of speaking on a fucking microphone I could do it. But, no, I'm planning to move on to stuff that will loosely be influenced by self-help, but not anywhere to the degree that this stuff was. Like, self-helps inform my beliefs about the world and, like, what I think, and probably influence my politics to some extent, things like that, and philosophy and what I think, and they'll play part in the new videos I want to make, but it definitely won't be the focal point whatsoever. And I just feel like I've reached a point in my life where I've moved on a bit from it. Maybe I'll re-identify with it, and the principles a bit more, and self-help, and its intrinsic good, being intrinsically motivated, not extrinsically? Am I stupid? Is that a word? I'm going to say extrinsically, because you know what I mean. Being motivated by things on the outside, not the inside. And maybe I will, but I think it'll be on a different channel with different videos, because I just think everything on this channel does align with just where I was at a certain time. I'm happy to have that documented. We can use this in the El Maxo documentary in 30 years when I'm a bajillionaire and he's the most successful, attractive man on planet Earth. How did he do it? Look back, look at the channel. There we are, we have logs of it. I'm kidding, but no, I don't want to shy away from this. This was a part of who I was for a while. And I just want to give a bit of context to like how I felt in that period of time. And why I don't really feel the need to upload here anymore. Which is a bit sad, because I think this community was really nice, and I'm beyond happy I could have had a tangibly good impact on a lot of people's lives that's really nice. I really hope this channel's made you happier, more successful in your pursuits, whatever it might be, physically, emotionally, career-wise, spiritually. Didn't really tap into spiritual that much, but hey, if I spiritually fulfilled you, that's also really cool. But yeah, I just don't really have any more plans to do stuff here. I just want to leave it how it was, as a little time capsule, I guess. But wow, it feels actually weird to. I just got fucking hit with the wave of how weird it feels to close that door, because now it's like a full reset for me. Not to get selfish and talk about me, but the El Maxo channel's wrapped up. This channel, I think I just have to leave where it was, because it just doesn't feel right to me right now. I guess it's a very new chapter. In a lot of ways, I feel like how I felt in 2021. When I hadn't, I almost feel like a bit of a reset. The only difference is I have a substantial safety net. Thank you, my overlords at YouTube, for paying me. So now it's a bit less risky, which kind of sucks. You know, it's like less of that, like it's a bit more comfortable than it was, but I don't really care about that. We'll start this new chapter. We'll take risks. I'll probably keep you guys updated on what the new videos I make are. I'm not sure about that yet. Part of me just wants to make it a complete blank slate, but I think I will have to show some people. And I think you'll end up finding it. I'll find you. Give it a year and a half, and you'll probably see a video by a different channel and be like, that voice and man looks very familiar. But yeah, I'm not gonna. My audio might sound like shit right now. My lips might sound. I didn't do my usual prep of drinking a lot of water and eating an apple the night before for this voice recording, because it was a bit spontaneous. I was just sitting here like, huh. I'm all wrapped up, and I was just like, you know what? Let's give the people their thoughts, my thoughts. And yeah, I'm so thankful I've helped people here. You guys have helped me as well. Being able to vocalize my thoughts on this channel is just very constructive and like therapeutic almost, to be able to like, the difference between having thoughts in your head and writing them down or just making videos about them, it does a lot. Solidifies what you think and just gets shit out there more. And I hope it's helped you. But I think that'll be all from me. Oh my god, I'm struggling to remember how I finish these videos. I know what I say, but is there a line before it? I'm not sure. I'm trying to think. I feel like there's going to be something more I've got to say here, but I think that's actually it. I'm glad I've helped some of you guys, but I think I need to keep this as a time capsule for a certain part of my life, in the same way that the El Maxo channel is a bit. I think I need to open that new chapter. Oh, now it's coming to me. Because it's true. Because I hope you're doing well. And farewell, elite level gamer.